Welcome to my 255th video on my work with OO gauge. This past Sunday I was out for what will likely be my last model train show visit of 2023 to the model railway flea market put on by the Lakeshore Model Railroad Association at the John Paul II Polish Cultural Centre in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. This involved about an hour's driving each way for me, which is about as far as I will go for a train show unless it's something really special. The Great British Train Show will be held in Brampton again in April 2024, all being well, and I will try to attend that even though it's a bit further, as it's the only local show specifically dedicated along the lines of my particular modelling interests. I didn't buy a lot from the LMRA flea market. You can see everything I came back with here. These days I'm not really looking to buy a lot. I can't see how to find room to expand on my layouts, although I really like to, so I'm not buying layout building materials at the moment. And I've already obtained pretty much all commonly available ready-to-run OO gauge rolling stock that suits my preferred prototype of pre-war LMS operations. So basically what I'm likely to buy now are unusual and out-of-the-way items, such as kit-built stock or worthwhile newly released items that suit my prototype. And the odds of finding those things at a show in Canada are not very great. Still, I did come back with a few things, as you can see. This was the only loco that I picked up, and even the decision on this was a bit marginal. It is, of course, an ex-Midland 2P in LMS-lined black livery. The 2P was the less powerful sister of the 4P compound, easily distinguished because the 2P had internal cylinders only and so no external drive and valve gear, whereas the 4P had an internal high-pressure cylinder and two external low-pressure cylinders with the associated external drive and valve gear. I'm not quite sure what the model number of this one is. It's definitely a Hornby model, as you can see at bottom left here. Based on the style of the pickups, etc., it would appear to be a fairly early Hornby version of this loco. Okay, I went and looked it up. From the running number 690, this must be Hornby R450 from around 1973, just before I immigrated to Canada from the UK. This would mean that it has a Ringfield motor. It does appear to run okay. I did already have a couple of examples of the 2P, but not one from Hornby actually, a mainline, a Daypol and a kit-built example. So I thought it would be worthwhile to get this, given that it was right in front of me at a reasonable price. These were the only wagons that I bought on this occasion, all from the same vendor. These are all tinplate Trix TTR wagons, so they're something a little bit different that I didn't have already. The vendor had quite a selection of Trix wagons, and I chose these as examples that appealed to me. I bought these with the intention of running them on my Hornby 003 rail tabletop, although there are some potential issues with them. For one thing, they honestly look underscale to me, and that's not terribly surprising, as the earlier TTR stuff was hardly made along the lines of accurate scale modelling. They do have simplex couplings. I believe Trix originally just started using those couplings without obtaining rights, and ended up paying a royalty after being taken to court by Pico and Hornby. Anyway, with those couplings they should couple to my 00 stock okay, but the earlier Trix stock generally won't run satisfactorily on 00 track, as the earlier Trix wheels tend to derail on the 00 points. Will these wagons run on my 00 tracks as they are without derailing? I honestly don't know. The wheels don't appear to have very large flanges, which I believe is the main issue usually. If they won't run as they are, my only hope will be to re-wheel them, but I don't think I have enough spare 00 wagon wheels on hand at the moment. I bought this one coach, really a BR brake, but I figured that it could be fudged to run as LMS stock for 3-rail. It's a later 00 coach with plastic wheels and couplings. These later coaches have better internal detail and better glazing, and they run well, but I'm not fond of the plastic couplings, which can break and aren't very easy to replace. The only other thing I bought was these 2 packs of seated figures. Nice seated figures are a bit difficult to obtain. My main source in the past has been the Slater's unpainted plastic figures, but painting those is quite fiddly, and also the duplication of poses tends to become obvious if that limited set is used repeatedly. So I was happy to pick these up to offer some different seated passengers, painted probably better than I could do. They're intended to be HO scale, so theoretically too small for 00 gauge layouts, 1 to 87 scale rather than 1 to 76, but I don't think that will present an obvious issue with these seated figures. So that's it for now. I'm not sure what's next. I do have a number of things on hand, including some kit-built 3-rail locos that are going to require work, which I keep putting off. And I've got a couple of things coming, including a mainline LMS set and 2 more kit-built 2-rail Royal Scots. Until the next time, take care, everyone.